Hey, thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the H-Train Show, where our only mission is so programs out there beyond the VA. Choo,
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
We begin on the tracks, rails stretching beyond the horizon. Each tie a memory, each rail a promise of where we might go. In the early years, our first logo appeared, a pioneer stepping onto the platform of possibility. Through seasons of growth, change, and challenge, we moved forward. The whistle of opportunity sounded, and we boarded the train of time. The view changed with every mile, some stations brief, others lasting. Our logos changed too, not just emblems, but mile markers of evolution. Along the way, seats filled with teammates, mentors, veterans, and friends. Some stayed for the ride, others stepped off, leaving their legacy on the rails behind us. And still, the journey continues. The tracks ahead stretch into the unknown, familiar yet full of new promise. What matters most is how we travel, with purpose, with grit, with heart. Because the journey matters, the movement matters, and the legacy of those logos, every year, every show, lives on in the rhythm of these rails. So here we are once again, all aboard. The whistle blows, the tracks call. Together we ride. We are the H-Train Show, showing veterans programs beyond the VA since 2015. H is in the building now.
Let's go! Strap in, this one's for the fighter! I took the oath. 20 years I gave my soul. Sandstorms, fire, a roadside blast. Everything I knew shattered fast.
You haven't seen nothing yet! Woo!
Drowning in turmoil, 15 meds, mine in a haze. Living felt like a permanent death. Still standing, scarred and proud. Crushed by war, but I won't stay down. Voice of the broken, thunder in my chest. With a freedom fighters rising from the wreck. Parents pulled me from the edge of night, pushed me forward back into the light. Ski boots on, carving through pain. Found my fire on that frozen terrain. Said I was too old to beat the race, so I trained like hell, put them in their place. From slurred words to a podium stand. Yeah, I'm racing with lightning in my hand. Still standing, scarred and proud. Crushed by war, but I won't stay down. From Kokomo to Olympic slope, we're the freedom fighters born to cope. Now I take the mic, not a rifle. Broadcast truth, yeah, that's survival. Paralyzed, but still I lead. With every word we plant a seed. Still standing, warriors loud. Can't break us, we screaming proud. Not wounded, we're on the attack. Freedom fighters, and we're taking it back. Freedom fighters, yeah, yeah. Keep rising.
You're stronger than you know, and braver than you feel. One waddle at a time.
Whenever things get rough or it feels like you're at the edge, remember this: storms pass.
Tough times don't last, but tough people do.
We are the Freedom Fighters, ladies and gentlemen. It is April 17, 2026. Welcome to Red Friday, and hey, you know what? Not only do I got HG in the this is his first time doing this co-hosting with me. I'm a little different, I'm different. Hey, you got everybody. You should know Dozer is my guest co-host. Love having him in studio. He comes in here, and I showed him the game plan of what the segments, and and he just looked at me. He's like, "Okay, all right, yeah, we're a little immature here, but that's okay, you know."
You're good.
It's a different. We have a fantastic show for you today. But if you didn't know, let me remind you. Let me refresh your memory. You're listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there in the VA, men and women in uniform, since 2015. You're listening to the H Train Show. We have been doing this since 2015. It's a very, very long time. And not only have we been doing this, but we are on a station that's letting our veterans' voices be heard in VR. And I mean, he might get upset with me because I'm going to brag on him a little bit here, but like Farron, he came to us almost 3 years ago. And, he didn't really need any teaching, he didn't. But, dude, your show, your everything has gotten so much better from the first time that you aired on MBR to now. I mean, you're on what, like 30 different channels now? I mean, you're starting to be like Howard Stern. You're doing amazing. I just want you to know that.
I appreciate that.
Everybody can acknowledge other people how they're doing and stuff, and they usually acknowledge them in their mind. But it's nice to let somebody know, hey, you know what? You're hilarious. Or hey, you know what? You're a good guy. Or my favorite in high school, you know what? Me and you would be so good together, but we need to remain in a friend zone because I don't want to hurt you. So anyway, so there you go. All right. Now, before we go on break, huh?
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
That'd be good. Now, today's segment, where the spotlight to service. Before we go on break, it's a really bad one. Let's go to it.
Yeah.
Mail call?
Yeah.
Attention, mail call.
Oh my God!
You've got mail.
Hey, listen up! Listen up! I don't care if you're ready. Mail don't wait!
Maybe, I don't know. All right, probably not. Okay, anyways. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you're sitting there, you're watching the Marine veteran. He saved a family from a fire, ultimate sacrifice. The New York Post reports that a retired Marine, Horace Oates Jr., saved 9 family members during a house fire. He used his military training to get everyone out, including a baby. Sadly, he did not survive the fire. And it just glorifies that you can take us out of the military, but you can't take the military out of us, and that just really grows even more, especially today since we're having I can't pronounce his name. I'll just call him Guile, the Green Beret. He's going to be on today, and he's going to be telling us, how things are going and stuff like that. And it's stories like that. It's stories like that, And I tell you what, if you're a veteran out there and you're serving, thank you for your service, especially right now. These are very scary and very trying times, and we know what you're going through. You don't have to worry about complaining. We already know what you're going through, and we just thank you for your service. So that is our spotlight today, and what we're going to do now, because we're catching up on that time, we're getting ready to go on our. Well, do you want? Should we hit the trending news, or should we just go ahead and go to our first break, hey man? What do you think?
It's only 8:10. You could hit some top stories.
Okay, all right. So check this out. The top story for today's. Now I'm gonna do like the first two, and then I'm gonna try to do that shit to where it's only like 3 minutes because HG you like to talk, so you elaborate that thing like 15 minutes. You like to talk. So 3 words sometimes.
He hasn't said a word.
Well, we haven't said sports yet, so just wait. You'll see what I mean. Just wait, it's coming. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about the 3 top stories that they've got going on, and then the 1 top story that has to do with NBA. I'm just going to let you and Caveman take it down, okay? But one of the top stories for this week, hey, WrestleMania is this weekend. How many of y'all watched WrestleMania? I remember watching WWF eating Subway from not Subway, but eating Subway sandwiches from Kmart. You know, that was a Sunday day, man. That was a Sunday day. I loved it. All right, so and then the legacy it just continues because the legacy now is. WrestleMania. They're on like 65 or 70 WrestleManias. It's like crazy. It's gonna be like 1/112 sooner or later, like the Super Bowl. It's ridiculous that the legacy has continued on. I mean, hey, they made it. Circuit City didn't make it, so it's something to be proud of. Especially if you're running around with a business today. Something definitely to be proud of. So, all right. Well, anyways, and then the third angle. Where was it? It was about it. Yeah. So, do you realize that Rousey? What's the other girl's name, Caveman?
Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, it's funny because Caveman's like, you mean those 2 soccer moms?
That's what this.
Oh my gosh, man! It's like they are good fighters, and it's not like they're not attractive. I believe Ronda Rousey.
Gina Carano.
I think that it's going to be a big event, huh?
It's against Gina Carano.
Okay.
And it's first time since she's been in combat sports since
WWE. Yeah,
2009.
Aren't they old now?
Yeah, that's what you got soccer moms.
Hey,
they're pulling up in the Honda Odysseys.
Hey, if Mike Tyson could do it,
there you go. There you go.
They didn't do it all too successfully, but he did
all right, and then finally, the number one thing that I'll let you guys talk about is how the 2026 NBA playoffs are starting with serious pressure, especially on teams like the Knicks, where it's basically finals or bust. So now the sports stories. Go ahead, Caveman and HG.
I didn't really think about it like that for the Knicks, but I guess it kind of is because they do have to worry about them being in the second window.
Well, I mean, the women's basketball is starting to kick up too, because now it doesn't just have Caitlin Clark; it has that other girl that like Caitlin Clark's friends with. That's Paige 9'1" or some shit. The one from Tokyo. There's a girl from Tokyo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name, but she's she's like 7 foot female player from China.
No, I thought she was 9'1". I'm serious.
Compared to your height.
9'1". Oh.
Compared to your height,
she's bigger than me.
It might look like 9'1" from where you're standing.
I think she's like 7 feet tall, 7'1", which is just insanely tall for really a person in general. So
yeah, I met Mini-Me. Mini-Me was taller than me, so
Hey, well, while we're on the topic of women's basketball, actually a cool note about the number 1 draft pick in this year's WNBA draft, Azzi Fudd. She's actually joining her girlfriend Caitlin Clark on the Dallas Wings. So
that's not official.
It's not official yet.
Not official.
But
No, I'm saying
she
as
was-
her girlfriend. As her girlfriend. I thought.
Okay.
I was like, I thought she was a draft pick, and I was like,
No.
she's a draft pick.
All right, let's close that game before it goes open any wider.
They were ready for that to become all public. But, that'd be
But I
cool
mean,
for them.
that shows that their sport's moving up. You're going to get asked questions like that. Like Stephen Curry and LeBron, they're getting asked questions about their children, family, and wives all the time. So
Yeah, poor LeBron sometimes can't even finish changing in the locker room before he gets cornered by reporters.
Well, I'm talking about changing
hopefully they
in the
don't do that
locker
to the
room.
WNBA.
Hey, talking about like changing in the locker room. Did you hear about the fights that happened with the WWE? Like they don't know if they're doing a skit, and they're very good at doing the skits. Because remember, they had Jerry the King Lawyer in a skit with the Moon Man. I forget what his name was, but Jim Carrey was playing him. The guy from Taxi, the real weird guy. Okay, so they've had skits with wrestlers doing stuff, and then this weekend. Uso was on some sports show, and this sports guy was really like dissing him, just being rude and stuff. And Uso like grabbed him and started body slamming him on the desk and stuff. And I'm like, all right, this is awesome. Like skit because it's coming up to WWE. I think maybe it might have been a skit. But then Cody Rhodes, I guess, he went to Pat McAfee's set. While they were offset, and he destroyed the whole set.
Oh God!
Yeah,
broke a priceless achievement, right? It was Pat McAfee and a photo of The Rock. Priceless to the community of sports. Broke a baseball bat in half.
Oh.
What else did you took Randy Orton's championship belt leading up to their match, and then the guy that let him in. Had to be in on it. There was a maintenance guy in the studio mopping the basketball court that's in front of their stage, and he let him in the room.
Oh.
And then he kept mopping the room while he was breaking everything. They got guys on the inside in the Pat McAfee studio.
Yeah, sleeper on his crew. That's crazy.
All right, well, you guys. We're ready for that first break. We're going to first break, and when we come back, it's just going to be more continued immaturity as we show the what the segment. So you're going to love this. So whatever you do, stay with us. Don't go away. You're listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA, right here on MBR, the H-Train Show.
Good morning, son. I just wanted you to know all your things are with me now. Yeah, they finally made it home. There's that brand new pair of boots you only wore once or twice. I found your army notebook. They're tucked inside. It's all laid out for me to see, and I can feel your presence right here with me. Everything you ever owned is sitting here with me, right down to your cowboy boots and jeans. And like a bad dream, it doesn't seem to want to stop. It all came home in a cardboard box. Yeah, your uniforms, baseball caps, old t-shirts and socks. All that's left of you came home today in a cardboard box. There's that 49ers flag that hung above your bed. Sweatshirts and ball caps and gold and red. Those camo uniforms are in there too, along with that black beret that meant so much to you. chains and watches all up on a shelf. A solemn reminder of the life that you led. Everything you ever owned is sitting here with me, right down to your cowboy boots and jeans. And like a bad dream that doesn't seem to want to stop, it all came home in a cardboard box. Yeah, your uniforms, baseball caps, old t-shirts and socks, all that's left of you came home today in a cardboard box. Yeah, I know this old world will never be the same, so I try to just keep walking through this storm of pain. There's no rhyme or reason why you're gone so soon. There's no book or prayer that eases the pain of losing you. Son, I know that you're in a better place, but I just can't seem to shake this pain. So I try to keep holding on, just trying not to go insane. I sit here in silence and think of you a lot, going through all of these memories in a cardboard box. Yeah, everything of yours came home today in a cardboard box.
Even ducks know the calmest waters come after the storm.
Whenever things get rough or it feels like you're at the edge, remember this: storms pass.
Tough times don't last, but tough people do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back. We're back. You're listening, if you haven't already realized, you're listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. You're listening to the H-Train Show right here on MBR. I am joined with my guest co-host, Farron Dozer.
What up, what up, what up?
Farron has been in the radio business for quite some time. And then HG, my partner, giving him a chance to give him a little chance to co-host as well too. So
finally, that's hiding me away from the cameras.
Oh man, hey, Farron, I really appreciate you you coming on, man, today.
No,
I really do. I really do.
It's only 5 a.m. over here.
It's only $400 for a tow. Anyways, so tell us, tell everybody just a little bit about yourself, because everybody knows that you come on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
I consider you are single cell trait spokesperson, but tell everybody just a little bit brief about you, and then we'll go into the what the segment, and you can announce it, after you're done. And caveman, it is that what the sec, so give you a chance.
Practice.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me on this morning. I'm Farron Dozier. I'm a retired Army Sergeant First Class, 24 years. Had a great time in service until I actually experienced what they call today as ECAST in the military, sickle cell trait exertion with rhabdomyolysis. Pretty much ended my career, sent me down that dark side of the tunnel, suicide ideation, depression, anxiety, and still having to manage that. But medically retired after 24 years of service, and became this broadcaster by chance. I found Blog Talk Radio back in 2009 and did a sports show there. And then I realized that athletes have been collapsing from sickle cell trait and military personnel. And then I found this whole community of people that I didn't even know existed. And so instead of defending this country, I became an advocate and started defending this conversation around sickle cell trait. It's not sickle cell disease. Most people know of sickle cell anemia or the disease, but it takes two carriers to have a child with sickle cell. So I'm a trait carrier, and those messages haven't been delivered effectively. And so I'm here to deliver that conversation for the sickle cell trait population. And there are risk factors, there are complications that can happen with people with just the sickle cell trait only. So I do that. I am a ABA basketball team owner of 3 teams. We own the Inland Empire Hounds, the Ventura County Orcas, and the up and coming Riverside County Mavericks. And so the ABA is a great platform from Dr. J came from. They got the whole documentary they just dropped out on Prime TV. And so so being able to do that supports my basketball identity because I played basketball. And so now that I can't actually do what I used to do on the court, as an owner, that allows me to stay connected to that basketball game. So for my brothers and my sisters in arms, discovering what's next is going to be very important, right? Because that transition and change for us coming out of the military, sometimes you got to figure out, who you are, and you might have to go back down to the grassroots level and figure out, the reasons why you were born, things that you care about, and then take on those conversations. That what that did for me, it interrupted the willingness to die, if I could put it to you that way. So by finding something else meaningful, fulfilling, it ain't about the money. Those are the things I believe that people really want to find out in life. And so coming here to MB Radio, I was already, like you said, I was doing a couple of shows already, and I was like, man, I don't know, but I do have a talk show called Trench Talk. That is my military segment, Black GI Radio Trench Talk segment. So I met these gentlemen here a few years back and did an episode, and it was like, you know what, let me go see what they talking about over there. So I've been having a blast. I thank you for the freedom to do what I do, man, and I really appreciate this network giving us veterans a platform, first responders, their family members. This is a great environment. So I really appreciate it.
I think the people are just, like, they're terrific. It literally, it's like a civilian MWR. That's literally what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And we even have a building here to where, like, you can come and you can play games and stuff like that. And we're fixing to have more buildings, and we're fixing to have more rooms doing the same thing. I talked to the owner, and I told him this is my number one goal, is to have a civilian MWR in every single state for all veterans that are retired to get out, because that's one thing that the military is not very good at.
Yeah,
and that's putting us out without teaching us how to handle ourselves when you get out. And that's how you teach yourself how to handle stuff. It goes through the MWR so that they can kind of help you to a point, and that's what MBR is going to do. We're going to help everybody. We're not just going to help one branch. We're going to help everybody. And when everybody gets out, they know, hey, if I need a connection or if I need guidance, I can go to MBR. That's our number one goal, to help veterans so that they know to go to MBR. All right, so after I interrupted your audio, because you was the one that was supposed to say, it's that time. It is.
Caveman, what you got for us, man? What the
hats, man? Oh, for real. Thank you, bro. You see the Cobra?
And what is this one?
Oh, this? That's my credo. No regrets.
You have no regrets?
Dad?
Nope.
Like, not even a single letter?
No way. Not me.
Well, I love him. I think he's great.
Okay.
I think he's a real winner, Casey. If I were you, I wouldn't use protection.
So I haven't had sunflower seeds in a long time, and I'm an idiot, and I was eating them with the shells, and I ate a whole bag, and I can't. I can't poop and it hurts so bad. And now I feel like I have to drive to the hospital and I'm fucking freaking out. I'm like panicking so bad. I tried everything. It hurts to sit, it hurts to walk. I haven't eaten in 2 days because I'm scared. Oh my god, I'm freaking the fuck out. I'm freaking out.
Hey, so don't eat sunflower seeds like with the shell. Don't do that. It's gonna be rock solid and you're gonna have people like scoop your butt out. This has been the most traumatizing thing that's ever happened. Don't eat sunflower seeds.
And see, I'm so glad that the internet wasn't around when I was young.
You would have videos like this out there? Is that what you say?
Some people really need to get journals.
Yeah.
Whiskey Hotel Foxtrot.
Well, you know, the best advice that I ever got from anybody was probably Brandon Stokely. I had texted him one day because I was watching the Denver Broncos play, and they weren't playing very good. It was like the Tim Tebow day kind of thing, you know. And I remember texting them, and at the end of it,
said they weren't very good in the Tim Tebow days. They were electric back then, Joel. What are you talking about?
You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Okay. So anyway, so I was doing the whole, you know, mad, sad, mad at my team, you know, because the score changed all the time. That's what I was talking about. And then, you know, I forget which game it was, but afterwards, Stokely texted me back. He's like, from now on, for the rest of your life, whenever sports is playing or the Broncos are playing, stay off the phone. Stay off the phone.
Stay off.
Just stay off the phone. He's like, you know, you gotta remember. He's like, just like a text message, just like in life, everything you write down, later on, it can either hurt you or it can help you. Now, young lady, first of all, I didn't know that you can't eat a whole bag of sunflowers with shells on. That's the first thing that I know, okay? So,
an important PSA.
Hey, so I learned something, all right? Her mistake is my gain, all right? So I learned something. Thank you. I really appreciate that. But, like, that's on the internet forever now.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it's like when I'll tell you, I don't care. You're gonna laugh your ass off there. But like when I skydived and they had it on national TV, they had me itching my butt on national TV. Everybody gives me shit about that till today. But you know what? It doesn't matter, you know, because if that's what they got on me, itching my butt, compared to what I did in high school, dude, we are so lucky, Farron.
Yes, we didn't have social media back then in our days, man. And so for those that are listening, a remedy for that we used to take in the 70s is called X-Lax. They didn't pay for that. Shout out to X-Lax.
Oh my goodness! Like maybe even like a ripe banana might even help.
You know, I wonder if things like that, if they're just skits. You know, sometimes they gotta be right. They gotta be. But hey, look, if you're seeing this video and you're upset, you know, if I like offended you, I apologize. But hey, thank you for your video. I learned not to eat a whole bag of flower seeds with shells on, you know? Kind of like if somebody says, hey, whatever you do, don't eat gorilla balls. Hey, at least I know now not to eat gorilla balls, okay? So with that being said, we're going to go on our next segment called Drop the Mic.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm not going to do what you all think I'm going to do, which is just flip out. Hey, I'm out of here. Y'all take care. Let's go.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, that's your PSA to not buy stuff plumbing wise off Temu.
Yeah.
Temu, not
Well,
Temu. You couldn't
said you
pay me
can't
to
imagine
shop on
that.
Temu. You couldn't pay me to shop on Temu. I wouldn't buy it.
Oh, there's a lot of people that buy it, but I mean, holy crap!
Yeah, if I did that though, like I'd have to like shower with like lava to feel clean again. Oh my god! Ugh.
I wasn't even talking about like the Nets. I was talking about like he wasted a bunch of money on that thing. I mean, just busted, you know. I mean, he might get lucky and get his money back. I mean, no matter what. Once again, you posted it on the internet. Do you know what you're doing when you post stuff like that? You know.
His full face wasn't in that one.
Okay.
The other lady was like a day in the life vlog. She was in the hospital in the car.
Oh, I feel so bad for that kiddo. You can tell she's young. You can tell that she's at least like 15 or 16. You know, if you're 24, how you doing? No, but if you're 24, then you know, disregard. I didn't mean to offend you or anything like that. So
hey, baby. Hey, baby.
But then you got Temu, you got Amazon. You know, the one that we used was the Wish app.
What happened to the thing where you just you should have just bought a snake from Amazon or something? Just go get a snake.
Right? What's wrong with the good old fashioned plunger? I mean, those still work.
They do.
Wouldn't stick in a
You're
little
not near the
suction cup. That'll fix your problem most of the time.
Well, they do have these things where you like put it down in the elbow of the toilet and then like sends a shockwave.
How about Drano? Just pour some Drano down. We get back to those days, please. I'm giving all these commercials, old 1970 commercials.
Oh man.
Slacks and Dranos. It's really easy. It's not that difficult. Next generation.
So yeah, so that is our drop the mic moment for today. We got about 40 minutes or so before we have to go to our next commercial break. You know, we kind of went over it a little bit earlier, but you know, we kind of brushed off on it a little bit because we were running out of that segment. But with the sports, like you even said it today, that the Denver Nuggets and Avalanche, like they got a busy weekend this weekend.
Yeah. Ball Arena.
At Ball Arena. And I don't think people know that. So if you're in Denver area this weekend, know that you know there's some free events also that's going on that we'll talk about a little bit later into the show. But like they have a huge celebration in West Colorado. They call it Cookie or Revolution or something like that. They have that this weekend.
If you're planning on traveling and going around downtown Denver this weekend, you're going to probably need a lot of time. It is going to be packed. The Dodgers are in town to play the Rockies. We've got the Avalanche and Denver Nuggets. The next 4 days each have their first round playoff matches against the Timberwolves and the Kings, respectively. There's a festival. So yeah, it's going to be a very busy weekend. It's going to be crowded downtown. So.
Mic check 1 2. I said check you. Yeah, baby. Mic check uno dos. There you go.
So you can still hear me, right, Farron?
Yeah, you good.
Okay, perfect. So we had a message from Amber. Amber told me to check the camera. One of my camera mics were on, so it's been echoing a little bit this whole time. So I don't know how bad that's going to be on the audio, but we're fixing to find out. But what's going to happen is our interview of the week is here. We're going to go ahead and go on a small break so that he knows that he's in the right place. We're expecting him. He's listening to me now, I'm sure. Go drink some coffee, go to the bathroom, be here. We're going to try to hit this at the top of the hour. And for everybody else, we're going to go on a music break. Some of these music breaks that we're running, just so you know, is veteran artists. I don't know which one we're gonna play next, but when we plan to come back, Caveman will recite that, and then for everybody else, when we come back, we're gonna be talking to Green Beret, veteran, badass. We'll be talking with him at the top of the hour. So whatever you do, stay with us. Don't go away. You're listening to the show that highlights nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. You're listening to the H Train Show.
to sleep with my boots by the door. In case the call came through, I learned how to run toward fire for people I never knew. I didn't ask who deserved it, I didn't stop to choose. I just raised my hand, said send me, and did what soldiers do. Now I wake up to different battles, paperwork, bills, and pain. Doctors' rooms instead of foxholes, still here in the rain. They say thank you for your service, like that settles the debt. But somehow every month that passes, you take a little more yet. I kept my promise when it mattered, I wish you would too. Don't take from the wounded, we already paid our due. I left pieces of myself over there trying to come back to you. I didn't come home whole, but I came home true. So don't take from the wounded when we already bled for you. There's a man with his medals in a shoebox tucked under his bed. 3 years of war in his bloodstream, still ringing in his head. They told him you're retired now, like the war just shuts the door. But the pain didn't get that memo, it still shows up every morning at 4. $200 and some change, that's what they say he's worth. For nights he can't remember, and days that still hurt. Try explaining that number to his kids at the table. Try telling them freedom's expensive, but fairness isn't available. You see a budget line, I see a lie. Don't take from the wounded, we already paid our due. You count the years, not the scars, but the scars remember you. We didn't break the promise, we followed it through. So don't take from the wounded when we already bled for you. There was a family watching hospital lights flicker through the night. A war came home in his lungs and blood from things we couldn't see or fight. They said you have to step away now, before 20 years were done. Cancer doesn't wait for calendars, it just takes what it wants. They did the math on the kitchen table, nothing added up. How do you serve till it kills you and still not be enough? They made the law after his sacrifice, so we wouldn't forget his name. But every time it gets blocked again, it feels like losing him again.
Locker's rusted paint was peeling. Same old halls, but different names. The teachers who taught me who I was, all packed up, retired, gone away. I left with dreams and folded letters, boots on, heart full of plans. I came back older, holding silence, trying to be that kid again. They said welcome home like it was easy, like home hadn't learned to change. Every road I tried to walk down felt rearranged. Time passed, but I stayed, standing and moving my name. Everybody learned how to move on, I learned how to wait. Time passed, but I stayed, same heart, different scars. I didn't leave, I just came back to find out how far. Pulled up slow to that old trailer, gravel cracking under my tires. I knocked once, then twice, then everything went quiet in my chest like fire. No lights on, no note in the window, no number I could call or chase, just an empty place where my daughter was, and the sound of my breath in that space. They say it wasn't mine to carry, say I had no part in the pain, but try telling that to a father who came home too late. Time passed, but I stayed right there in the driveway. Everybody says it wasn't your fault, but that don't make it fade. Time passed, but I stayed, counting cracks in the dark. I didn't leave, I just came back, and she was already gone. If love could freeze a moment, I'd still be standing there, keys in my hand, saying her name to an empty prayer. They say time heals all the damage, but it don't heal the man who came back looking for his child with nothing but his plans. Time passed, but I stayed, still breathing through the pain. The world kept spinning without me. I stayed the same. Time passed, but I stayed. I don't ask for grace, I just live with the picture of that empty place. Whatever happened to the brave young soldier? He was a good friend of mine. They say as he died, he never once cried, lying with his brothers there by his side. At 19 years old, he was sent off to war, not really sure what he was fighting for. So he fights for what's behind him and his brothers beside him. Together they'll weather the storm. 9 long months later and he's still alive. Fought several long battles you shouldn't have survived. Then the IED exploded as the ambush unfolded. He laid there bleeding as his brothers all died. Whatever happened to the brave young soldier? He was a good friend of mine. They say as he died, he never once cried, lying with his brothers there by his side. Reinforcements arrived in the nick of time. Old Doc had found him and called in the nightline. He awoke in the hospital, they patched all the holes. Too bad they couldn't fix the ones in his soul. And 16 years later he locks all the doors, unable to find anything worth living for. His family has left him, he feels society rejects him. With a bottle and a pistol, he falls to the floor. Whatever happened to the brave old veteran? He was a good friend of mine.
They say as he died, he sat there and cried, with only his memories sitting there by his side. Brothers and sisters, we can't lose this war. Have we forgotten what the hell we fought for? Pick up the phone, don't knock on a door. 22 too many, we must carry on, fighting these battles until they are won. We know that we walk on the edge of a knife, but one simple call can save a life. Whatever happened to the brave old veteran? He was a good friend of mine.
She's from Alabama, I caught her red-handed, drinking whiskey on Saturday night. I can't imagine I'm overreacting, she's losing her mind. I met her mama and told her about her problems, how it's happened now a couple of times. And girl, I'm sorry, I'll be gone by the morning, cause you ain't the marrying type. Well, she's got a way with words and I know it hurts, so Lord, just protect your pride. And girl, that's the way it works, and we ain't the first ones tricked by the morning light. So we came up, make love, then we take some, stay up, wake up all the neighbors. Yeah, I swore I was done with her, but she's got a way with words. Yeah, she's got a way with words, and I swore I was done with her, but she's got a way with words. I wasn't honest, if I'm being honest, I fed her a couple of lies. And now she's calling me, going on and on about another guy. So I take the bottle off the counter and I pour one. She's the only reason that I always gotta pour up. And ain't it funny that I bought the bottle for us? I'm the only one who's drinking now, baby. Well, she got away with words and I know it hurts. So Lord, just protect your pride. And girl, that's the way it works, and we ain't the first ones tricked by the morning light. So we came up, make love, then we take some, stay up, wake up all the neighbors. Yeah, I swore I was done with her, but she's got a way with words. Yeah, she's got a way with words, and I swore I was done with her, but she's got a way with words. Yeah, I swore I was done with her, well, she's got a way with words.
You've got this. Even if today feels tough, your best chapter is just around the pond.
Whenever things get rough or it feels like you're at the edge, remember this: storms pass.
Tough times don't last, but tough people do.
Hey everybody, and we are back, and you're listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA since 2015 on the station that's letting our veterans be heard, MBR. Now it's kind of funny because he came in, and we're waiting on our guest to come back.
He came in and left. He's like, wait a minute.
He came in and left.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Man, I tell you what, I hope it's not me. I have that effect on women, let me tell you. So hopefully it's not me. But yeah, we're just waiting for him now. But huh?
It's you.
Yeah, probably. But so yeah, man, you know, I heard about. Have you ever wrote a book?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually writing. I got 10. I call them inspirational reads because I didn't want to write a book. So I'm writing inspirational reads. They're between 10, 11 pages about the things that I discovered during my healing journey from, I call them the life of the series.
Okay.
2-year-old decision I made about my mom, a 5-year-old decision I made about my dad, an 6-year-old decision about my second grade classmates, 8-year-old about my mom again, 11-year-old about cars, 14 about this girlfriend, my breakup of the junior high girlfriend. I mean, I got like 12 decisions that I've discovered in searching my
Interesting.
subconscious mind to
Interesting.
heal from.
Well, hey, our interviewer came back, so I guess my charm's not that bad, you know. Thank God he doesn't come in the studio. This place smells like farts. I can just assure you on that one. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. It is the interview of the week.
Let's go.
The interview of the week is brought to you by Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
All right, welcome, Javier. How are you? I can't pronounce that to save my life. I'm going to tell you that right now. He's like, what did I get myself into?
Yeah, usually people call me Javi or Javier, whatever's easy.
Okay, all right.
He's in Denver, man. He's in Denver.
It's all good.
So I'm going to let you introduce yourself a little bit. You have a book that you created that you wrote. That's inspiring to me. I've never been able to. I haven't been able to write a book yet. That's one of the things I was talking about to Farron before you came on.
Oh yeah, maybe you got me confused with someone. I don't have a book. No, I don't.
Okay, all right.
It's fine.
Well, that's a trick.
I'm not a Navy SEAL. We don't believe in writing books and in Green Beret so much. So yeah.
All right. Well, Javier, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. So joined the military at 17. September 11th happened while I was in basic training. So that was infantry OSET basic training back in 01. Obviously made it to airborne school, got to the 82nd while I was there, deployed 3 times. One of them was that 15-month deployment in 06, 07. And then afterwards, after many of my friends going off to other ways in life, either getting out or PCSing, I decided to leave. And I went ahead and I went to another base by choice because I just had enough because I didn't have my friends there anymore. And then I was at Fort Meade for a little bit. From Fort Meade, and we can get into this story later, but I go to SF from Fort Meade. But the way I got there was really hilarious because I didn't want to go SF. I actually was getting out of the Army when I went to selection. So, but from there, made it to the Q course. 7th group was my group where I was at. I did 2 years as an instructor at NTC. It was the worst time of my life during COVID, especially. And then I finally got out in February of 2024. When I got out, I found myself by accident getting into the executive protection industry, and I'm still in it now. But in the meantime, I would tell anyone the security industry, the contractor industry, it's not a career, it's an opportunity. You either take advantage of it so you can pivot to something else. And I get my friends that are qualified and that would be good candidates for a lot of these positions to pretty much try to fix their lives or try to make money so they could unscrew their lives. But in the meantime, I always do tell them, hey, get a degree, get a trade, because this does not last forever. This is not a career that is conducive to growth really after a certain time. But more importantly, the realization that we call it twilighting in the industry. When you get to a certain age or you're just not requested back anymore, we call that twilighting in the industry, where it's like, listen, if you don't have something else to fall back on, you're not going to get those calls back to actually do the job or even get paid. So with that, I decided I'm going to go to law school here and hopefully next year. And that's what I'm going to pivot to. So when I was in the military, I did earn my bachelor's degree. I was a year away from my master's, but I got out because I just didn't want to finish it. And now when I'm on government contracts now, I meet soldiers. I was in Germany recently in Grafenwehr, and me personally, I didn't care if they'd fire me for pretty much talking crap to some of the soldiers. I'm like, if you are not getting the degree while you're in right now, I'm going to keep bullying you every day while I'm coming into these doors and I have to give up my phone. So I'm literally bullying these kids playfully and intentionally, but they know it's all out of love. I'm like, hey, if you get out without a degree, you're literally, what else do you have? Do you have a trade? Do you have anything? Or do you just like drinking beer every weekend or every Thursdays where you guys go out in this bar near here, you know? So I kind of trolled them, but after about a month there, they realized that trolling was actually all love. And that's kind of how I am. I'm actually a very difficult person to be friends with because I'm going to call you out, hold you accountable, as you should hold me accountable. You should call me out. But that's just how I am. But anyway, that's the short rundown of my life.
So that's interesting that you say that, because like a lot of and this is just my opinion, but I would love to hear your opinion. Okay, but like my MOS was like low in the totem pole. Like we were the first one that they would send to Iraq. We would be the advanced party, if that tells you anything. Okay, so we were low on the totem pole. Now anybody that's like 90 level or 80 level, like medical and stuff, they're a little bit smarter. They're gonna stay in the tent for a little bit longer compared to somebody like me. Now, when it's either deployed or it's duty station, do you not think that the college has anything to do with maybe how like active your unit is or how active your company is? Because there's a lot of people out there that they get that opportunity, but then there's some people that they don't get the opportunity because like I was a 12 Bravo. You wasn't going to school. I was lucky if I could do correspondent courses. But then again, has things changed? Because I've been out since 2007.
Oh, yeah. Things have changed for sure. I would say, like, for instance, I went to the Q course in 2010. And in 2010, they started this initiative in the Q course. And this is just proprietary to SOF here at the time. If you finished the Q course and then you took like 5 classes at Fayetteville Tech, you would leave with your associate's degree if you didn't have one already. Okay. And then they had this other program. If you did something called enterprise management through JSAL, Joint Special Operation University out of Tampa, it was all online. You do that, you finish SLC, back in the day called ANOC, right? And you would go to a college, one of those colleges they partnered with, i.e. Excelsior, it's what I went with. And between all that, I took my associates, JSAL, and my freaking graduation certificate from SLC. I did 9 classes with Excelsior, and I got a bachelor's degree in national security policy. So it has changed since you got out for sure. But my thing is this: most people, I could almost argue definitively and actually prove, are on their phones most of the time, or either doing something besides at work most of the time. Those times where you're on your phones, I guarantee you could probably sneak away to your computer, do a discussion board, or do a quick, literally a very quick assignment, and knock out time and literally burn candles from both ends. Because I say this because I've done it. I was doing that. Like, hey, if I'm at work not doing nothing, and as you know, we're all at work sometimes, we have to do our silly online training, our Sharp, our EO, clicking through. But guess what? While I'm there, I'm also doing my discussion boards. I'm also doing this, so you can find time. You absolutely can find time, but it's all an intention, though.
That last 15 minutes of guard duty, I was always in the shitter. So you're exactly right.
Hey, Javier, man, I want to know if we can get a little bit personal. I want to go back in time a little bit with you. You say you joined the military at 17.
I did.
What was going on in life that had you even look at the military for an option?
Oh, dude, my parents were immigrants from Mexico, so they came over. All they said was like, hey, you're going to go to school. Hopefully you have a family someday, you get a job, and you buy a house, and we all stay together. I love my parents. I love my family. I love my extended family. And maybe I was a genetic misfire, but that wasn't my life. I love them, but that wasn't what I wanted. Yeah. And I left right out of high school, and I intentionally only wanted to do 3 years was my initial contract. And in those 3 years at the time when they offered it, it was, oh, cool. I leave at 20 years old. I'd maybe come back home to Modesto, California, and go to college nearby with my GI Bill, right? And stay at my parents for free. And maybe be a cop or something. Literally,
Yeah.
it was, I thought so small back then only because if you, and I don't, not to get into socioeconomic mentality here, but if you really do a study, you know, to immigrants that come in, they just want your kids to be happy and
Yes.
educated, but they look at education as credentials, whereas the wealthy, who I work around a lot, they look at education as a signaling matter. They look at that as an introduction to the room where people know you, not necessarily who you know. Because if nobody knows you, why would they hire you and make you more money and make you successful? What value do you add to the other people is what we were not taught as children, in my opinion, in public school. But
Yeah.
as I'm seeing this, I'm 42, I have a 4-year-old son, and I'm like, well, I've had enough of, I don't want to say being a slave, but it's a lot of it was slave mentality, in my opinion. And that's, I didn't want to just keep getting credentials. Instead, I'd rather be in the room with decision makers. Oh, you know what? This guy's a little more popular than me, way more successful than me. If I could add value to this person, I think there'll be a mutual exchange of some sort where I could at least possibly get into a better position. And it sounds like me being a sycophant right there, right? But guess what? That is how the world works. I know how the world should work through you know, through merit, which I believe doing work through merit. But let's just be realistic here, okay? Too many of our friends and brothers and sisters have killed themselves for God knows what reasons. I don't know.
Yeah.
One of those reasons I could say is, and I know for a fact, besides mental illness, they just did nothing at all. They would disappear to obscurity, and I would ask, "Hey, you check on John? How's he doing? I haven't heard from him." And then, sure enough, like, hey, man, I hate to tell you this, but you know, our boy's not here no more. And I'm like, why? And then you hear about it, like, shit, okay.
Yeah, it's that isolation. That's exactly what it is. It's that
Precisely. And the thing is, we've been through and done so much and been asked to do so much. While so many people have literally just watched us do it and say, hey, thank you for your service, I would reply to them, hey, you know what? You're worth it. Sometimes I say it sarcastically. Sometimes I say it with intention. But let's just be real here for a second. There's no way that we've gone through everything we've been through, if you actually went through it, just to get out and succumb to mental illness, unfortunately, or to succumb to boredom where you tell your body, I don't need to live anymore. There's no reason to do that. Absolutely no flipping reason to do that.
Javier, one of the things that we discuss in the community of veterans around this topic, or especially around veteran suicide and the ideations of it, is discovering what's next. And a lot of times we have that great career, our identity is trapped in that camouflage and that rank, and then we come out of the military and we lose ourselves at some point in life, right? Of the things that we care about, or finding things in the community, or again, we label it as what's next. And for some people, it's difficult to transition into something that's what's next when you've done what we've done, right, at such a young age. And then who am I today? And so I believe, to me, that's what you're pointing to, is how do we help our veterans and brothers and sisters figure out that what's next?
Correct. That it alludes to that as well. And the thing is, here's the weird thing. I've had a funny career. I've told people in other interviews, describe your career. I said funny. Why funny? And I'm gonna tell you why it's funny. The only reason I went to Ranger School when I was in the 82nd was because when I got back from my second deployment, and then you had the older guys that didn't know any better. They just had historically going off of metrics. Hey, you're probably gonna get sent to Korea or get orders to go to drill or recruiter. And I was scared to death to go recruiter or drill back then, whereas some people were looking for it. So I went to Ranger School the first time. I broke my tibia, I got hurt, and then I went ahead and went back 9 months later, and then I made it straight through. My whole purpose back then, I was 21 when I finally made it, right? So my whole sole purpose back then was to stay with my friends and deploy with my friends. Now, initially, did the Army metric work of like integration and staying in with staying in with your boys and staying in the fight? It worked on me. It did. Good job. Good job, Army. It worked, right? The only reason I did Ranger School was to stay with my friends so I could deploy my friends, right? A lot of the people had just said, hey, you know what? I'll go to drill. I'll go to recruiter. Nothing against them. That just wasn't in my career plan.
Yeah.
I only went to SF, and I'm no BS. I've said this multiple times in multiple interviews. I went to SF because after BNOC, or as they call it, ALC now, I made a drinking friend. This is where I stopped drinking altogether because of this. I made a drinking friend when I was in BNOC in Fort Benning. And when we got back from BNOC, we played Call of Duty on PlayStation 3. and he came to Quantico on training, and 2 hours from Quantico is Fort Meade. So I drove, seen him, we drank, talked about life. I leave the hotel room the next morning, crash on his couch. He goes, "Hey, Javi, can you come back in the room?" And I'm like, "What's up?" "Sure." "Hey, will you go to selection with me?" I was like, "Sure." "Which one? Civil affairs, PSYOP, SF?" And he's like, "Can you go to SF with me?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." "When?" "October." This is in '09. He asked me in May '09. So October '09, I show up. I realized he wasn't at Fort Bragg or in Camp McCall. And especially after the PT test, I didn't see him. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to quit. I'm already here. So fast forward to me making it. I get the phone back. I tell him, "Hey, bro, how are you? Are you okay?" "Yeah, why? What's up?" Like, "Well, you asked me to go to selection. I just got selected. I just wanted to see if you got hurt or something happened with your family." Hangs up the phone. I text him, "Hey, you
Oh
good?"
no.
And no, it gets better. I was like, "You know what? Screw this. My feet are bloody. I'm limping. I'm hungry. I'm going to go and eat." So I went to, I said, screw it. And then I get back to Maryland, back to my house. I turn on my PlayStation 3 to see if he's up for playing. He blocks me and deletes me from the gamer tag, so I can't even play with him anymore. And then I try calling him again, and I'm like, this dude straight up blocked me. And
No
I swear to God, literally, as the kids say, on God, this happened, on God. And then I'm like, dude, I'm like 8 months from I'm getting out of the army. He asked me to do this, and he didn't even freaking come. So in my mind, I was like, I'm getting out anyway. I was getting out of the army regardless. He asked me to do it, so I did it with him. I didn't care, but I did it. He didn't do it. That's how I got into SF. Was very accidental. Had he never asked me, I swear to you, I would have gotten out of the army. I just didn't care.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's the buddy system for real.
Yeah, that's a blue falcon. That's a blue falcon.
Hey, you know, like you said, Javier, you're once you're there, you're not going to quit. I mean, how many times do we go to a movie theater and we stomach through a terrible movie and we're not leaving because we paid our part? We
Already bought the ticket.
Yeah, we already bought the ticket.
Got your popcorn.
We already got the popcorn.
Buttered up just the way you want. You're sticking it through it.
Yeah, but I really did not intend to go at all, and he asked me to go, and only because I'm a good friend, because I believe loyalty is a virtue and a trait of mine. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to follow through and do it, and that's how I got in. So
Javier, let me ask you: Do you think that your transition out of the service was because you had that educational background? Do you think that's what helped you, or how was your transition out of the service looking back?
Well, that's another good topic here. I bought my 15-year mark. I don't care. Screw it. I did not like. I didn't want to be in the army anymore. I just didn't. It was when just because the grass isn't always greener on the other side. The grass is only green where you water it. Okay. Now, it was good to be in special forces because I was exposed to other communities, and it did help me in growth and in mentality and maturing. I also did not like a lot of the politics behind it. There was just some things I did just not like to do. There is such a thing as doing the right thing at the wrong time, and I found myself doing that. There is times you should not call people out. I learned that the hard way, and there are times where I just straight up made mistakes, and I admit to them. I was not absolutely perfect. I made so many mistakes. The learning curve is steep when you get into special forces or any special operations community. You literally have to read the room and take the temperature consistently. And even when you read the room and take the temperature, be it the right temperature, you should not say anything. There's times if you say nothing, it damns you more. And then you really have to think, if I say nothing, I'm going to get screwed more. But if I say something, I'm going to be looked at as a person who's the difficult person. You don't ever want to be the difficult person, but you also don't want to be the pushover, right? So as a man, though, I want you to know right now, no title we earn in the military makes me the man. It's me, the man, who made the damn title and how I achieved it. So that, as far as identity goes, I'd like to touch on that for a bit. I am not Green Beret Javi. I'm not Ranger qualified Javi. I'm not former 82nd paratrooper Javi. I'm just freaking Javi. Okay. I made that. That didn't make me, and that's literally how I've been the entire time. I do know some of my friends and colleagues and our peers they took that title and it became them. You talk about identity. I see that. That made my transition easier because I just didn't care. And if you look at my LinkedIn, it says nothing about me being in the military. It just says risk management, executive protection. That's it. It says nothing about special forces. Says nothing about that. Nothing. I had to delete my Instagram for work purposes because I was overseas last year, and I have to recreate it now because some of my friends who care about me in this industry told me, Javi, you got to have something. Like, just don't. You can't be blank anymore. You got to have something again. So I'm going to do that, right? But I do think, though, my transition had a lot to do with just me saying screw it, but I couldn't really say screw it overtly. Okay. You can't, because as an enlisted person, you can get away with it. As an officer, I actually feel for a lot of officers, because if you look like you want to do things for yourself, you get judged amongst your community, and they're like, hey, Joshua, you good? I was like, why? What's up? Well, you usually spend 10 hours at work. You're only spending 6 hours at work now. They judge them that way. They're like weirdly sneaky about their passive aggressiveness. But me, I'm just like, if you want to call me a dirtbag, call me a dirtbag. Tell me I'm not pulling my weight. I'm doing me because there's nothing that you can do that help me in my next transition. So I feel bad for them about that. I do feel bad for officers. I used to not like them, but I actually feel bad for them now. My transition at 15 years, though, back to that, I started buying houses. Like, I bought 10 houses here, in Florida while I was in, and I didn't want to get out and ever be told that I had to do something. I wanted the choice to say, you know what? No, I don't want to work for you no more. I'm going to put in my resignation. I've done that 7 times. I've worked at Publix. I've worked at a ramp agent at an airport. I've worked at other small little jobs here, but I was like, hey, you know what? I just want to walk away. And don't ask me why I did it. And I'll just be very succinct. I wanted to know what the slave mindset of a person in the regular world lives like, and I've seen enough. And I hope it doesn't censor you on any algorithms on the internet, but that is exactly what I saw, and it's literally bewildering to me that people just allow themselves to go through the motion and have no thought for themselves. And I try to meet people in the middle. I am this intense in person. If we're friends, by the way, I have nothing to hide. My friends would tell you if they see this, yep, that's me. I just call like I see it. And I want to do more only because I know if I do nothing, I feel like my friends should judge me and call me out. 2, I have a son. If my son sees me do nothing, what's he going to do?
Yeah. They mimic us. They mimic us.
Yeah.
They do.
Javier, I gotta say, people are really liking you. We're getting some gifts on TikTok right now. Thank you, Chelsea, for sending in those gifts.
It's a look. It's a look.
Yeah.
See, I'm on the show, so I got to surround myself with eye candy or it doesn't promote. It doesn't progress. So I really appreciate you being on with us this morning, Javier. I really do. Sorry about the mix-up earlier. I know that, what you said about identity, but one thing that I have a question about is when you got out, and the reason why I bring this up is because there's a situation here at MBR that we've been kind of addressing, and it kind of goes with this a little bit. But there was a veteran that called 911, or it was 988 Farron, and he told everybody that he was going to kill a bunch of people. Didn't end up doing it. Yeah, he was going in and requesting help, and now there's a bunch of like law stuff and all that going on. Farron can probably explain to you a little bit better than me, but I think you know what I'm talking about, Javier.
Yeah.
My question is, why do you think the DoD is very quick to get us out compared to? I mean, we spent like 6 weeks on the rifle range, and we spent 2 weeks clearing and getting out of the military. And since you've seen the high standard of the military and the low standard of the military, maybe you can shed some light on why hasn't that changed, and what can we do to change that?
2 things, and actually, only because I've had friends that are commanders in my current. I'm a part-time on-call contractor for an Army program. And I'll shed some light in this because one of them was a company commander, and he told me one thing. on the conventional side. When he was a company commander, he had a statistic because he's a very empathic person. He's one of my best friends on this program when I'm on with him. He tells me, I asked these kids, hey, tell me how you grew up. Do you have parents? Yes. Who raised you? Just my mom. He gave more clemency for people who were single parent household, single mother household, and he would give them another shot. And sometimes he said maybe 20% of those would absolutely do okay, but it sucks about that. Like most commanders, it's all in the commander's discretion. That they see this person as a liability, they'd rather just do away with them, and that's just how it goes. Now, I've seen it in SF, and I'm going to tell you some stories in SF. There were guys that I went to the Q course with that had a drug problem or even similar problems. And it's a dirty secret from the group I was from, but they found him with heroin needles in him, everything. They much rather kick him out of the military than get him rehabilitated. Okay. So it really depends on, wow, how's this going to look on us? And only because I've had friends that were commanders, I know how they think now, and it's more like an image thing. So if this image looks bad on the unit, they'd much rather get rid of you because it makes them look strong to kick you out. And I know it seems very draconian. I know it seems very callous, but that is how it is. Everyone is trying to protect their image so bad that in reality, it's really difficult to have empathic leaders. It really is. Not everyone's going to give a person a shot. Like my friend John, he's like, hey, are you a single parent household? Hey, I'm just going to give you a summarized company grade. Don't do that again. You know, show me something good. And he said maybe 20% of those people became okay and didn't screw up again. But that's with, on the conventional side that I know of. But on the soft side, we have screw ups too. We have we have dudes that do all that as well. And a lot of it, they keep it contained. Some of it you can look it up. Some of it you can look it up right now. So special forces soldier shot a bunch of people in a bowling alley in Chicago or somewhere in Illinois. That did happen. That guy came from my group, right? Why they obviously that's an obvious get rid of him. But when it comes to that 988 call, that is a commander's discretion call. Me personally, I'd have probably kept him. I'd probably want to talk to him. But it's so much work to talk to a person. It's so much easier just to give him administrative, hey, you know what? Screw it and go. So this is where it goes with how lazy is that commander or how much does he have on his plate? He's more thinking, hey, I got to worry about property book, operations, 18-month schedule. It's like, that's what they're thinking. And the thing is, they're like, and they probably warned him about this. Like, hey, 90% of your problems are going to be with like 80% of those soldiers doing that. Get rid of them immediately. That could have been how he grew up, though. I don't know what the commander, I don't know. Like, there's so many figures.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. As like a commander first sergeant, you have to look at personnel and say, oh, well, skill over behavior. Is his skill worth the behavior that we have to sit there and deal with? Or do we just boot him out and hopefully society gets him, to, uses that 180 days to get into mental health,
it's difficult because if we tell the truth, not everyone joins the military for God and country, right? People are joining military in a survival state of mind, homeless, whatever they're dealing with, trying to get money for their family.
To have a cook. Yes, exactly.
Right. And so, and I appreciate you, Javier, for saying that, because that's the stuff at some point that has to be taken in consideration of like you said, how did you grow up? What was your background? Because if I let you out of here and you're already in this mentality and you're serving, what is that going to do to you back in that civilian life? And it could be detrimental to the community of releasing you back into that environment.
I completely agree. And that's actually how my friend John is, and that's what he believed as a commander. He was a commander for about 2 years. And he was very, very understanding. Not everyone's that way. And that's why I loved him even more when he told me that. I was like, I already loved you before, bro, but I didn't realize you were like that as a commander. So my hat's off to my man, John. But with that, though, I'm going to tell you something. Survival mode here. I'm going to get with a civilian survival mode here.
Yeah.
When I got out, I got into the security industry in Vegas. That's where I really got my true start, my hot start. I hit the ground running. I met these two girls in the security industry. They were working security as well alongside with me. They worked pretty much 7 days straight, and they were both roommates, and they both had kids. And then I'd ask them, because we're on details together, and we're like, how do you guys sleep? How do you guys take care of your kids? They're like, oh, my mom takes care of our kids. So like, well, that works. But this is where my like hustle just like it hit a weird like, wow, this maybe it's what I needed to hear. She told me the way I see it, if I don't work, I don't eat, my kids don't eat, and we're screwed. And I've never heard it from a civilian. And mind you, I just gotten out maybe a month, moved to Vegas, and I just started working security. And I heard that, and I was like, I've never. And she was in survival mode, and so was her roommate, her friend. And I've never seen that firsthand because in the military, we're completely shielded from a recession. We get paid every 2 weeks. You literally, and especially me, how I pretty much got all those 10 houses. My friends and I, we BHTAC. My buddy Ryan bought a house. We lived in that house as he was in the Q course. Chris and I lived in the room. We three-way split everything. And then after I started buying houses, I told those assholes, I'm like, hey, if you don't buy houses like me, we're not going to be friends. So I forced them. I'm a horrible friend, depending on how you look at it and how you frame it. I will force you to be successful because I want to brag about you so you can brag about others. You know, that's how you, that's a flex. You don't flex with Rolex watches. I don't carry that crap. But back to the survival mode with them, though, back in the civilian world, that's what really hit it for me. And it was just kind of like, I remember my face as I looked at him. They're like, what's wrong? Did I say something wrong? I'm like, no, you didn't say anything wrong. You said what I needed to hear. I'd never heard two single parent females at the time had to survive and take care of business like that, or else they pretty much died. And I was like, whoa. I can't go any slower than you. In fact, that weirdly, not want to say motivated me, but it made me more disciplined. I got to do more because if I know wherever I'm at in the world and they're working their asses off, I have to work my ass off. I got to do more. And God puts people in our lives sometimes, and sometimes we need to hear exactly what we need to hear at a certain time. And I needed to hear that time. And so
yeah. Well, hey, first of all, Javier, thank you for coming on. I really enjoyed the segment. I think Farron did as well. We learned a lot, and we learned some other observations or other points of view of certain situations too, as well. We have came to that segment where it is your time to shine.
Today's Time to Shine is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. Veterans and first responders runs on Dunkin'.
This is your time to shine, baby. It's your time to shine.
Javier, if you didn't know, that's me. I'm on a boy band every weekend. That's the way to make extra money. I can tell you, all right?
I love it. Keep it going. Keep it going. I love it. I will say, you had a song. I was watching the show earlier. You had a song. You said all the songs on here are from veterans. There was one. It said before we started coming on here, it was about the guy like going to war at 19. That one really. I was like, I don't know what the name of that song was, but dang, that hit home.
Oh yeah,
whatever it was, whatever the name of that song was, it hit home. So
I think he's talking about the Matt Oakley one.
No, it was talking about the guy he got hit by an IED.
Oh, okay.
He survived. His friends died, and it was he was singing in the studio. It was all noir, so it was all.
Oh yes,
great.
all right, okay, yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. Justin Gardner.
Justin Gardner, Brave Young Soldier.
Yeah,
he's Brave Young Soldier. That song before I got on, it actually weirdly had like almost had tears in my eye because that happened. I was like, wow, that happened. Holy shit. So yeah.
Really powerful one.
Yeah. But Javier, we have made that point where maybe I didn't set you up for that, what you wanted to talk about or set you up for that right question and stuff. I mean, hell, I thought you was a book author when we first started this. So that tells you where my mind was. All right, I'll call myself out. Don't worry about it. Okay, and I apologize for that, but. Maybe there's something that you wanted to talk about during this interview and we just didn't get to. This is your 2-minute platform to say whatever you would like to say. And thank you not only for your service, but for coming on with us and talking with us today.
No, honestly, I would have talked about anything. What we just talked about was, we talked about, obviously we got it out there, veteran suicide and, the whole what's next, right?
Yeah.
And we talked about everything. Actually, I could have talked about anything, and I'm fine with it. We could have talked. I like to stay away from politics. Thank you for us staying away from that, by the way. But I think we got the main points across, and more
Let
importantly,
me ask you why stay away from politics? What is that view for you? Why you stay away?
Oh my gosh, I can answer
no,
that.
this is good. This is good.
Oh,
This
no,
is
I
good.
wanna-
Thank you.
I don't wanna-
I
yeah,
love
I
tough.
wanna hear.
Actually, this is what I like. This is what I love. Tough questions like that. This is. Thank you, thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that, brother.
I got you.
I stay away from it because it has gotten me in trouble in the military, even and in special forces. Because when I got into special forces, we were told, "Hey, when you're in the team room, you can be candid. You can, say what's on your mind." That is BS. This is another learning point. When anyone tells you, "Hey, this is a safe space," it's never a safe space. And when somebody says, "Hey, guess what? You can screw up here. It's fine." No, if you screw up here, they remember it and they're gonna hold it against you.
Exactly.
So that is why I don't talk about that, because people will hold against you your own views and your own
Exactly.
convictions.
It doesn't matter if you win or lose until you lose. And it really does.
All right. So and now that I'm out, there's a lot of consequences. What comes with that? I've been fortunate to get in some positions that made my life a little easier, but also some people that were very unfortunate that they showed their views, and one of the hiring guys to staff didn't like them. And I was like, my boy missed out on $800 a day because of something he said. And I want you to consider that $800 a day is not bad money. Okay. I got paid at my peak in the military with all the SF pay was what, freaking 8,500 after taxes a month.
Right,
So
right.
if you can conceptualize now that I'm out, why I stay away from that is because it can mean me either getting paid 20 an hour, or it can mean me being paid $800 a day.
Yeah.
And that's why I stay away from that. So yeah. Now that I'm out.
He makes a good point. Wouldn't that suck if you had just graduated like medical school and then they found that video that we played earlier on the internet about the sunflower seeds and they revoked your certificate? I mean, that would suck.
All right. Yeah, no, that would be a bad day. So that is why I stay away from it. I barely talk about it anymore. And honestly, on the political landscape, we can all agree it is just so messed up now. There's so much ambiguity. And when you're in a country that they talk about online, when you're there personally, a lot of the crap they're saying is a lot of hyperbole. So it's difficult. How are you going to tell people this is how it really is when they see the media industrial complex feeding you something else? So therefore,
How can you tell me it's the government's problem and you're a part of the government? That's what I don't understand. It's like the government's your problem. Like, but you're a part of the government. Like, what do you mean the government's a problem? How? Like, what?
And a lot of people don't want to genuinely engage with you. Everyone's just looking for the "I gotcha" moment. Like
exactly that too. There's so many traps, so many red herrings out there. So, and when you see all those logic traps and red herrings out there, what's the point of even engaging about it when it's not going to be a genuine conversation? And on top of that, is it really going to fix the world? No. So guess what? Here's what I can control. I can take down as many bad actors around me if they're around me, if the opportunity presents itself. That's what I can control. That's what I can change. I could also change my style of life. I told you I wanted to go to law school. I'm going to do that as a pivot because I can't do this forever, nor do I want to. And I'm going to tell you a reason why. I have engaged with people that were prior military and I like it. I've engaged with people that are prior Leo, law enforcement, and I like it. I've also engaged with the other type of people, and I'm talking about people that make you question, how are you even living? How are you even here? Okay. So the more of that I see, the more it makes me want to do more. And I'm like, I don't want to be around these people anymore. I don't know how they got on this detail making the money we're making, but I don't know. But I makes me want to say, you know what? I'm going to go to law school. And that's exactly what I decided. I'm like, I'm going to go to law school. So yeah.
I love it. Javier, thank you so much for being on the show. We're gonna have you on again. I'll have to hook you up with Farron. I think you guys could I think you guys are gonna have.
I got
really good
one
time.
more. I got one more for him before he goes.
Okay, well, we got tribute to the troops still, so go ahead.
Okay, just real quick. So I definitely care about the child and parent relationship. You mentioned your parents and what they had for you in that culture, and at 17 you're like, nah, that's not my view. And sometimes as parents we put our worries and concerns on the child that's not the child's views, and that creates a level of rebellion and all that other stuff. So, but what do you want to say about mom and dad? What do you want to say about them?
My mom and dad?
Yeah.
Well, first off, I love them both. They're still together. They have the nuclear family. They are the example of a nuclear family, just living a simple life, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's what's missing today, in my opinion. It's so easy for and I don't want to red pill it here, but it's so easy for a woman to date and mate for gain, whereas us as men now, we have to date and mate with acceptable losses in our mind. It never used to be that way. Whereas I see my parents, and I love them so much, they did the best with what they had as immigrants. They just wanted to come here and do the best they can with what they knew to start and raise a family. And that's what I got to say about them. They taught me that. That's what I saw from a baby to 7 years old, which literally ingrained in my mind subconsciously. This is what I want. I know it's what I want, but I'm going to have it on my own views in my own way. I still want that. I want a family for my son and I. And that's what I got to say to my mom and dad. They did their best, and I love them, and I give them every reason for what I'm doing. And there's no reason why I should not try harder, because they came in this country so that I could do more and I could do better. And I'm not going to disappoint them. And that's what I say. So,
all right. Thank you. I'm good. Thank you.
Awesome. Javier, thank you so much for being on the show. We'll keep in connection with each other behind the scenes. Okay. Thank you.
No, hey, thank you for having me on. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Peace.
All right, for everybody else, on this April 17th, 2024.
What?
Or 2026. Wow, I'm just all over the place. I'm a hot man.
Was you back in time? Was you back in time?
They watch the show because of the stupid stuff that I say. That's why they watch the show.
You just came back from time. Where you
I'm
been?
telling you, we're getting ready to hit the tribute to the troops. So whatever you do, stay with us. Don't go away, everybody. Tribute to the troops is next, and then when we come back from the tribute to the troops, we'll be hitting the final 2-minute warning. So whatever you do, stay with us. Don't go away. You're listening to the show, the highlights on the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA, right here on MBR.
Detail attention.
First call. The service member's name is called out loud in the context of a unit. This is meant to ensure all are present and accounted for. Second call. The name is called out again, louder, to confirm that the service member is indeed absent. Third call. The name is called out for a final time, followed by a statement indicating that the service member is not present and accounted for, signifying their death. The final roll call serves as a symbolic gesture to respect and remember their service.
Sir, I'm not telling the story.
Well, you got to, Joe. You tell the American people what these men did here. You tell them how my troopers died.
Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to MBR today as we pay tribute to Captain Richard James Flaherty, age 69, of Cutler Bay, Florida. Richard was born on November 28, 1945 in Stamford, Connecticut to Walter and Beatrice Flaherty. At his birth, his mother did not know her blood type was Rh negative, which led to serious health problems due to hormonal imbalance that stunted his growth. He was estimated to grow to 4'7", but he grew to 4'9". In high school, his antics earned him the nickname Giant Killer. After graduating in 1965, he lacked direction, finding himself partying and causing trouble. Richard wanted to serve his country, but at 4'9" and 97 pounds, he did not meet the Army's height requirement of 5 foot. Richard applied for a congressional height waiver to join the Army, making him the smallest man to serve in the U.S. military. Richard reported to basic training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina on October 10, 1966, where he faced bullying and criticism. Flaherty attended Infantry Officer Candidate School and commissioned second lieutenant on August 31, 1967. He was assigned to the 101st Airborne Division and went to Vietnam, serving as a platoon leader and a recon platoon leader with companies B, C, D, and E. He and his platoon were engaged in some of the heaviest fighting on the outskirts of Hume during the Tet Offensive, where he earned a Silver Star, 2 Bronze Stars, and 2 Purple Hearts. His small stature became his advantage, crawling into tunnels and tight spaces where others could not follow. After his tour in Vietnam, he returned to the U.S. and attended the Special Forces Officers Course at Fort Bragg. After graduation, he was assigned to the 3rd Special Forces Group and assigned to the 46th Special Forces Company in Thailand, serving as detachment commander and liaison officer. In 1970, he was reassigned to the 10th Special Forces Group at Fort Devens, serving as both A and B detachment commander. He was discharged as a captain in October 1971, serving in the Army Reserve until 1983. After discharge, he worked as a military contractor in Africa, Rhodesia, and Angola. During these operations, he gained a reputation for intelligence, and in the late 1970s, the CIA recruited him to supply the Contras in Central America with weapons and cash. So began a wild adventure involving guns, cash, and halo jumps into the Florida Everglades. It ends when he is arrested for possession of gun silencers. Abandoned by the CIA, Flaherty locates a smuggling ring and stealing tons of explosives, including classified weapons, from inside a U.S. Army base, and signs on to work the investigation undercover with the ATF. Richard suffered from PTSD. He preferred to live outdoors and was homeless in South Florida. During this time, Richard's fiancée was killed in a traffic accident, leaving him alone and even more depressed. On May 9, 2015, Richard was struck and killed by a hit-and-run driver while crossing a street shortly after giving his life story to a police officer he befriended. Though the driver of the car was identified and arrested, no charges were filed in Richard's death. Richard is survived by his brother Walter Flaherty Jr., extended family, and his brothers and sisters in arms. We here at MBR would like to thank you, Captain Richard James Flaherty, for your service and dedication to our country. You leave a legacy of love and courage, and our prayers are with your family, friends, and those who served alongside you. You are truly missed, Giant Killer.
Bell decal, pinch it. Ready.
It's the guts and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. For these stars and stripes. Hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana, to the golden coast of California. Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop. And his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Lay down, here's the line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. For these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Stand on the front line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Pay the ultimate price. He was the man of the house when he was born. His family is proud but torn. But if you knew him, you would understand. He was raised on how to be brave, just to see the flag still wave. And then he came home with only one hand. He's Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Lay down, hear the line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. For these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Stand on these front lines. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. He'll pay the ultimate price. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Lay down, there's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. For these stars and stripes. March in line. March in line. Hey. Hey.
Small steps still get you to big places. Keep paddling.
Whenever things get rough or it feels like you're at the edge, remember this: storms pass.
Tough times don't last, but tough people do.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Red Friday, the 17th of April. We hope you enjoyed the show today. We know that you have a choice of who you listen to in the morning, and you choose to listen to me. God bless you for that. All right. So, hey, we have hit that final moment, the 2-minute warning, where we talk about our final thoughts and we talk about the free events that are happening this weekend in Denver itself. Ladies and gentlemen, it is final thoughts.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition. Strap in.
It's the 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning. What we learned today. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
At Project ML, gratitude. Our mission is simple: to give motorcycles to veterans who need the kind of peace and freedom that only a ride can give.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of nonprofits out there, and I know in the nonprofit world that there are now about 8 nonprofits that make motorcycles and give them to veterans every single year. I know there's like 8 of them, okay? But ML Gratitude is one of the originals. There wasn't very many organizations that did that. They were one of the originals.
It's
and
the best one because they sponsor us.
Yep, and the reason why we bring that up is, check this out. You go to their website, mlgratitude.org, just Google it, go to it. You can nominate a veteran. So, you know, for Father's Day or something, if you don't have a lot of money, nominate them for a motorcycle and then give it to them in a car saying it's the thought that counts. I mean, hey, it's a free Father's Day is coming up. It's a free idea. You can use that for your mother as well. I use that a bunch of times too. Another thing that I did fair when I was little is I didn't have money, so I would wait for about an hour, okay, for the arcade to like rule up and group up money, and then I would go to the keeper and say, "Hey, I lost my quarter in the machine," and they would rack me up about 3 or 4 different games, and that's how I played most of the games when it started when I was in high school young. So yeah.
Strategies.
yeah. Caveman, what did you hear? What did you learn today?
I learned a lot of interesting thoughts from Javier. I thought he was very definitely a character in a very good way. He had a lot of different ideas that he was able to share today.
Well, I liked how he was like, "Hey, you got 15 minutes." I'm like, you know what? You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
He gave us the full slate in
right
that short amount of time on the interview. And I mean, he's got one good purpose to lower suicide rates in veterans. So.
Most definitely. Farron, what did you learn?
Yeah, again, Javier, definitely a great person. I appreciated him being able to share his experience, and I hope that other brothers and sisters who watch this, take in consideration that going to get that education could help you in that transition out of the service. And so, yeah, that was important. That's how we're trying to figure out ways to interrupt that. And what you said earlier about leaving it to the DOD, we can't. There's certain things of our conversation as veterans that we just can't leave it to the government to take care of. That's why we're here, to have these kind of conversations and create organizations in the community.
Right, but I do still think we need to hold DOD accountable to a sense.
To us, yeah, but that's a whole nother.
Because they're letting too many people slip through the crack. That's the reason why I said, we can bully the VA and we can complain about the VA, but DOD needs to take some credit for this too.
They got to step it up.
Yeah, they really do. They really do, especially with this current situation that happened earlier that we were talking about. HG, what did you learn? Huh?
It's a fine line. It's a definitely fine
it is a very fine line.
Well, I learned don't eat sunflower seeds.
Right?
With the shells off.
You can't forget about
Apparently, that's if you don't want a trip to the hospital. But then also on like a serious note, I think Javier was very right that when he said there's all those moments in the day where we're just like maybe on our phones or something or we have downtime at work. Like, you know what? Take a minute to do something productive real quick, whether you be in class or if you're trying to get your education, whatever. Just like try to find that time when you can. It's important.
That's very, very true. That's very true. All right, well, hey, look, the only 3 events that we're gonna be able to talk to you about is, remember, the first event, art show, every first Friday of the year here in Denver, and then they've got Avalanche, they've got the Nuggets.
Those will not be free.
But Caveman, go ahead and cue the music for everybody else. Have a fantastic weekend, and whatever you do, don't drink and drive. Don't drive and drink. Don't beat your kids. Don't beat your wife, and be a good human. And remember, nothing good happens at 3 a.m. Till next Friday. Love you guys. Have a fantastic Friday.
Nothing.
All say, we're not here for us. We're here for you. We're giving our veterans a voice.
Life is like a duck. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. Here at Military Broadcast Radio, we're teaming up with our friends at Die Tired, the veteran-friendly music band spreading strength, resilience, and mental health awareness, one shirt at a time.
And check this out. Their brand new shirts feature broadcast beaker right on the breast pocket. A reminder that you can weather the storm, and you're never alone.
Shirts are only $25, and proceeds support giving veterans a voice. MBR's mission to teach veterans how to podcast and videocast. Because when our vets are talking, they're not overthinking. They're not second-guessing. Together, we stop the 22 stigma. Grab your shirt today at mbradio.us and hit the shop. Or go directly to toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband. That's toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband.
Suit up, stand strong.
Remember, we're unduckable together.
You're built tougher than the storm.
Thanks for watching and listening to Military Broadcast Radio on Roku TV. If you missed today's episode, the podcast will be available on
all major platforms shortly after we go off the air. We're here for you, but not for us, giving veterans a voice. This is Military Broadcast Radio.
Thanks for watching and listening to Military Broadcast Radio on Roku TV. If you missed today's episode, the podcast will be available on
all major platforms shortly after we go off the air. We're here for you, but not for us, giving veterans a voice. This is Military Broadcast Radio.
Thanks for watching and listening to Military Broadcast Radio on Roku TV. If you missed today's episode, the podcast will be available on
all major platforms shortly after we go off the air. We're here for you, but not for us, giving veterans a voice. This is Military Broadcast Radio.
Thanks for watching and listening.